Good morning, dear students. This is your English teacher, Miss Sara. Now tell me, let's take a look at the first picture. What can we see? Very good. We can see a frog playing the guitar. Now tell me, can we see a frog playing a guitar in real life, in our everyday life? Of course not. Now let's take a look at the second picture. I think it's a very funny picture. What can you see in this picture? Very good. We can see a boy flying with a balloon. Now tell me, can a group of balloons make us fly? Of course not. So can we see this in our everyday life? No, we cannot. Very good. Now, when something we cannot see in our everyday life and that is not real, we call it fantasy or make believe. What is a fantasy or make believe? Excellent. A make-believe or fantasy is a story about something that could never happen in real life. For example, a dog cooking. Now let's take a look at this picture. What can we see? Very good. We can see a little girl reading a book. Now tell me, do we see little girls and boys reading books? Excellent. Yes, of course. Now let's take a look at the second picture. What can we see? Excellent. We can see a kitten drinking milk. Now, can we see that every day? Can we see kittens drinking milk in our everyday life or in real life? Of course, yes, we can. Now, when something happens in real life or every day, we call it real or realism. What is realism? Excellent. Realism is when something happens in real life. For example, our mom cooking.
Realism and Fantasy. There are stories that are real and stories that are make-believe. A story about a fish, like this one, would be real. This kind of story has realism. This fish looks and acts like a real-life fish.
Raise your fin if you know the answer.
A story about these fish would be a fantasy. Fish don't speak or go to school. A fantasy tells about people, places, or events that are make-believe. Think about your favorite story. Would the story have realism, or would it be a fantasy?
Now you try. Is this illustration real or make-believe? Excellent. This illustration is real. Now let's take a look at the second picture. Tom and Jerry. Now, is this cartoon real or make-believe? Very good. It is make-believe because what Tom and Jerry do can never happen to a dog and a cat in real life. Good job. Now let's continue. What can we see in the illustration? Excellent. We can see Tinkerbell. Now tell me, is Tinkerbell make-believe or real? Very good. Tinkerbell is make-believe. Now let's look at the second illustration. Is this illustration real or make-believe? Can we see a dog sleeping on a pillow? Very good. This illustration is real. Yes, we can see a dog taking a nap on a pillow. Now let's repeat. What is realism? Very good. Realism is when something happens in real life. Now tell me, what is make-believe or fantasy? Excellent. Make-believe or fantasy is a story about something that could never happen in real life. Now, as a homework, I want you to do page 40 in the English notebook. Please submit your homework and stay safe.